What's good? Osiris here. And I'm going to be talking on this channel. I do a lot of Alexandria Ocasio Cortez news, but really it's a left. I'm a I'm a guy who I have another channel called Stuck in the Middle, as you can see right there. Maybe you can't see, but I got a channel called Stuck in the Middle, and I've got populist left and right in me. Right now, I'm more on the right. I'm in the middle, but more on the right now because the left, they don't have much going on as far as in DC. They got nobody, maybe Katie Porter. But I love the commentary from the left. The only thing we disagree on is race. That's the only thing. They make race an issue. Not even that I disagree with them on everything about race. I just disagree with them about making race such a big issue. But this is a channel that I have started watching a lot. I've been following her for a while and just been watching it a lot. Sabs, one of my favorite channels. Let me pull it up. I'm gonna just do a reaction to her reaction. Let's see how it goes. I haven't even listened to this video. It's just on the fly. I'm just a huge fan of this channel, so I'm just gonna make it a video. Let's go.
So Nina Turner, she was on Krystal, Kyle, and Friends, and they were talking about the election coming up. Nina Turner's race is just 2 weeks away. Of course, you guys already know, we've talked about this as well, how the Progressive Caucus has decided to back Shontel Brown, of course, Pramila Jayapal as well. And they're talking to Nina Turner about the hope. I think that
For those who don't follow the populist left side of things, that would be like Lauren Boebert backing Liz Cheney over Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's how bizarre and on the reason why I like the populist right is they handle their business. If the America First caucus would have done something like this, people on the populist right, you can call them MAGA or whatever you want to call them, America First. I like America First better, but whatever. Call them dark MAGA. I don't care what you call them. They would make it their mission to get every single person in the Progressive Caucus or the American First caucus that backed the wrong person. They would make it their mission to get them the hell out of office by voting them out. But I don't really see that from the populist left.
that may or may not be left in reference to the party and in reference to her race. Before I play this video, there's something I want to say. I want you to look at this from the perspective of the party as a whole and not the individual. Basically, what I'm saying is that for me, this is not about Nina Turner. This is not about the individual. My issue is the Democratic Party. It's the system that is in place. That's what I want you to focus on as we go into this video clip, because there's been a lot of chitter chatter, especially.
We need to team up. And I'm watching these videos also to learn how people like Sabs, I respect a lot, how they think. So how can we team up? People are not going to win unless the populist right and left get together. We can't divide each other. Now we have different goals, different ways of getting there, but all we have to do is say, let's take out, through the democratic process, let's vote out this person, and then you get what you want and we get what we want. And somehow we work that out and just keep on doing until we run things. That's what why I look at these things, because I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, we both agree the Democrat Party is trash. We both agree the Republican Party is trash. What's happened is the populist movement just took over the Republican Party. The Democrats don't have that. They have the fake populists. So they feel like they have representation, but they don't. Even Nina Turner, they're fighting to get Nina Turner in, and she's a fugazi. She said it in a video that went viral. Everybody in the populist left was talking about it. She basically said, you're going to be disappointed by me. Why did she say that? Because she was talking to the deep populist left, and she said, I can't live up to those goals that you want. That's what she was saying.
Especially today, I don't know if you guys been on Twitter or what, but the whole thing that happened, the conversation between JB and Jordan Sheraton from Status Cool, RBN, we did a stream. Well, I wasn't on it, but we did a stream earlier today about that. There seems to be this misconception that we're attacking Nina Turner, or we just don't like Nina Turner, or we're throwing her away. For me, this was never about Nina Turner as an individual. For me, it's about the strategy that is being used, which we've used for the last couple of years. And it's about going into the Democratic Party. Even if she was going into the Republican Party, I would still have the same criticism. It's about going into the two-party system and what is happening to the progressives that have gone in. Again, leave the personality part out of it. I am focusing on the strategy, the duopoly, and the money. And that's the thing I'm not hearing people talk about. And I mentioned this last night. Everybody is coming out saying, oh, you guys are, this is a nihilistic view. By the way, a lot of people are using that word recently. If you've been paying attention, a
Mhm.
lot of people are talking about it's nihilist, it's nihilist, it's nihilist. I think that's the word this year or something. And you're going to hear Kyle Kalinske say that as well on this clip I'm about to play. And I think it is unfair to say that we have a nihilistic view when you're leaving out the fact that we actually think we should be using a different strategy, that there is another alternative to actually help.
I agree. They're using the word. I haven't heard Kyle use it, but the word's been being used in a manner that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm going to take a tangent. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Who cares? If you're watching it, I appreciate you. I want to take a tangent and look at this, because nihilism really means you don't you don't accept reality. Is what you're not looking at something based in fact. So what I think they're saying is, you on the real I call them the real whatever, the real populist left, you don't understand how DC works, so you can't do force the vote. And when you criticize those who didn't do it, didn't use that tactic, then they're saying you're being a nihilist because you're not addressing reality. Let me make sure I'm not great with language, to be honest with you. So let me look at the Merriam-Webster version. Nihilism, a viewpoint that traditional values and beliefs are unfounded and that existence is senseless and useless. I don't think that's how they're using it in this. Is there another definition? A doctrine or belief that conditions in the social organization are so bad as to make destruction desirable for its own sake. That's the definition they're using it as. They're accusing the real populist left of having the belief that the conditions in the Democrat Party are so bad that they're destroying it. Basically, it makes destroying it desirable. So I guess from that point, yeah, I am nihilist. Now that I read the definition, that's why I wanted to read it. Yeah. And I don't mean destroy it. I think what Trump did and MAGA did, they ran up in the Republican Party and said, come here. If you play Mortal Kombat, get over here. And they took it over. So you guys can't take it over because you've got these fugazis, and a lot of people treat them as real. So, and I'll be honest, on the populist right, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm a big fan of. If you're a populist left, you probably aren't, but okay. I'm a big fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't want to say fan, supporter. Our interests converge often. And I don't know if she's real yet. We will see if she's real when she has to go against the big spending bill that the Republicans want, including Trump or DeSantis or whoever it is. If there's a Republican president, will she force the vote for something? Then we'll know. If she doesn't, then I'll be like, you know what, populists left and right, we're in the same boat. We got fugazis. I don't think she's fugazi, but we don't know. She hasn't been fully tested yet. And she's the leader. I'm using her because she's the leader of the populist right movement, not Trump or anybody else.
Actually help people faster, help people right now. They're leaving that out. So people can call it whatever they want, nihilistic, they can call it defeat, whatever, yada, yada, do whatever you please. But I want you again to understand This is not that we don't like Nina Turner. I don't have an issue with Nina Turner as a person. It is the strategy that's being used that has failed over the past couple of years, and no one's life is improving. That is the problem. So let's go into this clip. Here we go.
And so, yeah, what Christian Small is doing, there are Starbucks right here in my city, whether it's Clifton Avenue or West 6th Street or the one in Maple Heights, or excuse me, not Maple Heights, Mayfield Road in Cleveland Heights, just all of the various Starbucks right here in the greater.
That's where I grew up. Represent Cleveland Heights, represent. I went to Cleveland Heights High School.
Cleveland area, all of those wins and attempts to give people so much courage. What happened in Staten Island probably, is owed to what they were able to do in Bessemer, Alabama. Even though they didn't come with the brass ring, it was just one more step in the right direction and one more move to motivate people.
It's kind of funny. She said one more step in the right direction. Let me bring that. This is totally off track, but she said what? Come again? No, I'm just joking. I like Nina Turner a lot, except for the race stuff. I like her a lot.
They didn't come with the brass ring. It was just one more step in the right direction and one more move to motivate people to keep on fighting. So it's the combination.
It was one more step in the right direction. I'm going to bring it back and not laugh. My bad. I'm going to bring it back.
People to keep on fighting. So it's the combination of all of these things that I believe that the.
And I want to chime in here for just a second. She's right when she talks about the labor movements, Amazon, Starbucks, them like really like, yeah, let's form these unions. Let's do the damn thing. It's delivering real results. The people are actually getting something. The problem with the strategy of putting progressives through the Democratic Party, we're not getting anything. They're not passing any bills. What have they done for us? That's the thing. We're not getting anything. Nothing has changed.
Literally, they haven't gotten, like when she says they haven't gotten anything, like literally, they haven't gotten anything. Like literally, not one piece of legislation. At some point, the gig is up, right? You've got the squad, you've got Cori Bush, and they talk a good talk, and they got their Twitter game's actually not as good as it used to be. But I'm serious. Tell me, AOC did a video talking about all the things they did. Let me go look that up. I want to look that up. This is gonna be a long form one, so whatever. Just have fun. Talk. I like to talk like we just, in college I used to love having the talks where we would just be drinking or playing video games or whatever and just having discussions. Back then it was cool because there was no right or wrong. Nobody even looked at stuff like Republican and Democrat back in 2000, at least the people I hung with. We didn't even talk like that. It's weird. We talked about philosophy, like prisons, and we talked about the topics, but we didn't even talk about it from the Republican Democrat. So is this, she doesn't have it. This isn't it here. I thought she had the, I can't find, I thought she used to have it pinned. Oh yeah, here it is. It isn't. Here's our 21 wins. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but let's just see what are the wins that the leader, the face. I think they're grooming her for the word groomer is just coming up. They are. It's the proper use of the word. They're grooming her for POTUS at some point. I think in 2024, but who knows?
Hey everybody, unbelievably, we are coming to the end of 2021. So for the second year in a row, we wanted to take a moment to look back at some of our collective accomplishments over the year. We do things a little bit differently here with Team AOC. So no matter if there's an election year or not, we stay organized.
We do things a little differently here. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world she's ever done, but it's just, doesn't it come across as just so fake and phony?
All year round. So in addition to some of our exciting work in Congress,
like she's the only one in Congress that works hard, right?
We also have a lot of powerful community building wins for us to share. So let's get to it. Here are 21 wins from.
We're doing the top 21. So the top 4 or 5 should be bangers, right? We should be banging. I mean, we're talking about they had not a super majority, but they had a trifecta without the super majority in the Senate, which is a problem. But for them to get everything through, like you look at DeSantis and people on the populist right are going all in on DeSantis, he has a trifecta. He could just write up a bill and it's just next day it's done. Like as I record this, they told Disney your tax benefits, you wanted to go to war with us, you messed around and found out. But they don't have the super majority, so okay.
2021. Number one, our Homework Helpers program provided over 4,000 hours of free tutoring to the community with over 500 volunteer tutors. Two, we launched a deep canvas program on the Green New Deal, knocking over 3,300 doors and trained over 200 organizers on how to organize around tenants' rights and mutual aid programs. Three, we joined our brothers and sisters at Teamsters Local 202 picket line to advocate for the Hunts Point produce market workers, helping win their largest pay raise in the Bronx in over 30 years. Four, after a historic winter freeze in Texas, we raised over $5 million for local charity and mutual aid and joined Reps Green, Jackson Lee, and Garcia in Houston to visit impacted communities. Five, we led the creation of the National Female Funeral Assistance Program, which distributed funds to families nationwide, including New Yorkers who lost loved ones due to COVID-19, in order to cover burial costs. Six, we launched an outreach campaign in
Are you impressed by these? I mean, these are good things, but number 4 was aid to Texas? I mean, which was good. I don't know. I'm unimpressed, but maybe I'm just off them. Those are the top things. So there's plenty of legit reasons for Sabs. Obviously, Sabs isn't impressed by it. Now, she's kind of localizing it, but she brought in Texas number 4, so it wasn't that local. Let's continue on with the Sabs video.
Changed. Nothing has improved. If you can't pass these bills, the people get nothing. So the reason why people are very excited and enthused about the labor movements with Amazon and Starbucks is because not only are they winning, but when they win to form those unions, the people are actually getting something. We're not getting anything.
Well, I would love to ask Sabs, what do the workers get if they join the union? I'm not even being joking or anything. I'm not for unions because I think they're just another apparatus for establishment control, meaning the uniparty, basically right now it's Biden in charge, and those interests, those corporate interests say, oh, we've got a voting block of people now in Amazon, and now we can work with that employee base to hold Jeff Bezos account to what we want from him. Because Jeff Bezos is in the establishment group. He's in with them too, but he's in the kind of private sector. He's a business owner. So sometimes they might say, Jeff, we're in the same crew. We need you to do this. And Jeff might be like, no, we don't. We don't need to. I'm not doing it. But if Biden and the establishment has control like they do over the teachers union, they have over the Amazon workers, they say, well, you know what? We're going to flex on you here. They might not say it directly, but I just think at the end of the day, the employees are still pawns, and you've got to sell me on what tangible things they get. It's up to them. I'm not in the union, but that's where my head is at on the union stuff.
Through the progressive movement. That's the problem. What have they done? Did they cancel student loan? We still got student loan debt. Do we have health care for everybody? No.
The left kills me with the student loan debt stuff. My goodness. Canceling it for what? Just the people now, and then it accrues for everybody else? Or I don't understand the student loan debt stuff. Healthcare, I understand. I'm out on healthcare too. Because when the government tries to mandate you to take an experimental drug, you shouldn't have anything to do with my healthcare. But in theory, in vacuum, if I could trust the government, I completely agree with Medicare for all. I used to, but I'm out on it since the pandemic.
No. Do we have paid family leave? No.
I fully support that.
No. We have nothing. That's the problem. They're not doing anything. All I've seen them do is pass legislation or vote for legislation that the Democratic establishment want.
Yep.
They're going along with them.
Yep.
So this is the problem. Multiple times they could have used their leverage. There was none. I sat right there and I watched them vote in such a way so that that Capitol Police bill would go through. They could have changed that. They could have changed that. If they would have voted against that, that funding wouldn't have been approved. You see what I'm saying? So again, they're not doing anything. If you are super,
So I agree. How can you call it a nihilistic point of view when they aren't doing anything now?
supervisor, and you had all these employees not doing their job, you'd probably talk to them a couple of times, give them a review. But after a while, if they're still not doing it, you let them go. So what are we holding on to? Let's go back in.
Progressive movement should look at as we critique and judge ourselves, and not get caught up in what the mainstream media has to say about this movement, because the overwhelming majority of the American people are right with this.
Let me add here, because I'm from that area, her district. That's where I grew up. I'm not living there now, but I don't know how things are now, but I want to be careful in what I say because I don't want to feel like I'm dissing my hometown. I love Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights and Garfield Heights and everything over there. Northeast Ohio represent. But you know, when you say stuff like that, you're going to say something that's negative. I don't want it to be negative. I want it to be honest. That area is not it's not a area that breeds. Let's just say it's not an area where there's a lot of free thinkers. Very proud, strong, smart, hardworking, down to earth. You'd love to live there just because of good people. But when it comes to following politics, understanding, there's not a strong progressive movement in Northeast Ohio. At least, I haven't been there in years. But the mentality is what it is. I could be wrong. But when I grew up there and what I know of it now from chatting with people, when you talk about the populist left, it's not an easy ground to build. They're going to be more comfortable with the Chantel Brown. And I think Nina Turner's style, as much as I like her, I think she's hype. She gets me ready to go. And I don't even agree with her on everything. She's pumped. I mean, I love her energy. I don't think it resonates with that part of the country. Could be wrong.
Right, but this movement is, they might not, Krystal, and they might not, Kyle, call themselves progressives. If we take the label off and you just talk to people about, is your health care enough? Is it?
That's why she went that route. I have not even listened to this, and that's why she was going that route. Because there's not many people in Northeast Ohio that label themselves as progressives. They might have fallen victim. Everybody in the world basically has fallen victim to critical theory, but they're not really progressives, though.
Is your health care enough? Is it serving you? Are you making enough money on your job? Would you like to see things change in this?
But then that also means talking to people who are not on the left. See, this is the part where a lot of these commentators, they smear us over at RBN. They smear us when we did the marches for Medicare for All, because there were also people who were conservative that were in those marches.
You know I won't be doing any sort of thing smearing Sabs for that. And she's talking about Revolutionary Blackout Network. No, that's good.
They need health care too. But you just heard Nina Turner tell you right there. Maybe not just focus on the labels. Don't just focus on the labels, progressive or leftist. Even people who are not progressive and leftist also need these things that we're fighting for. You just heard Nina Turner just told you that.
Especially in that part of the country, I wouldn't even label myself as a progressive. Just say what you're going to say, and they'll be more open to interpreting it and accepting it.
You gonna call her Red Brown Alliance too? You see what I mean? Let's go back in.
Society that gives you more than a fighting chance to live out your greatest greatness. Most people, no matter how they identify politically, are going to say, Yeah, I would like to see more done. That unionist movement is an example of that. You got people who were probably Bernie-crats, Clintonites, Trumpites, Green Party, no party, all uniting based on what they had in common.
Respect. I love that.
What they had.
Right. This is what we've been saying. Now, Krystal and Kyle, they can listen to this because it's coming from Nina Turner. But when we say it, we're smeared. You guys see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
This is why I tell you this is a game. This is a game.
Yep.
Had in common was a drive and a determination to say we deserve more, we deserve better. We're gonna put our political ideology on the side and fight like hell to get that better. That's benefits, that's wages, and that's work conditions. This is the roadmap that the progressive movement needs to use so that we keep on fighting. We cannot get weary in well doing.
Well, I think you're.
Where's Hassan Piker now when he smeared us when we were talking about the marches for Medicare for all? Where are all those people?
Hassan Piker is a clown.
Nina Turner just said the same thing that we've been saying for over a year. And a lot of these commentators with these large platforms came after us and they smeared us, including Mr. Ryan Grimm, by the way. Now Nina Turner's saying it. You guys gonna smear her too? Let's go back in. Oh, this is revealing. Here we go.
Point about Bessemer leading to Staten Island is actually really important. And we know that Chris Smalls and Derek Palmer and their team went down to Bessemer to see what they could learn from that fight. They didn't watch the defeat of that. And by the way, Amazon cheated and there was a redo and the results of that are still ongoing. So they may have actually pulled it off the second time around. There's still some hope there. But they didn't look at that initial defeat and say, unionization, it just doesn't work. Forget about it. Instead, they said, okay, what did they do that didn't land, that didn't work, that we think we can improve upon for our own movement and for our own union drive on Staten Island? And
Krystal's being disingenuous here. What she's trying to do, see, here comes the guilt trip. What Krystal's trying to do, she's trying to make the same connection to what happened with the Amazon union to electoral politics with this strategy of putting progressives through the Democratic Party. She's trying to tell you now, oh, well, Amazon didn't give up after they went down there in Alabama and they just kept fighting. This is true. Here's the difference. That was not done through electoral politics. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
That was done by the people, among the people, with the people, not electoral politics. This is why I'm telling people some of these things that you want to get done, we could probably get them done through a different strategy. For example, I just told you what we should do before the midterms. We need to have a massive march on DC, on the Washington Mall, with a list of demands to put pressure on the Biden administration. That is not going to be done through electoral. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
She's trying to compare the two. So we should not give up on the progressive movement and putting progressives through this Democratic Party, you guys, because look what would have happened if Chris Smalls and them gave up with Amazon. No, they're not the same thing. One is electoral politics. The other one is direct action and organizing. And what have we been telling you over at RBN? We have been doing 80% electoral politics, 20% direct action mutual aid. We told you we need to flip it. We need to do 80% direct action mutual aid and 20%.
That's why I have a lot of respect, and they're cool with Rome Bethea, because people have different skills. I don't have skills, or right now I'm just older. I got a family, 2 kids. I'm not in these streets. Rome Bethea is, though, and that's what you need for this direct action. It's a great point that she's saying here. I'm going to end it here. Maybe I'll finish it another time. I don't want the video to be too long. Great stuff. I'll do a lot more of reactions to Sabs. I don't want this channel to be a beat up AOC channel. And maybe I'll just change the name to something more positive, because I like listening to respectful conversation. And even if we agree, it makes sense. You're grounded in truth. Much respect. Let me know what you think. Take care.